Hello, fellas. My name is Gianpaolo Vernocchi. I am the co-founder and creative director at Destiny Bit, and welcome to this special stream of Empires Apart, hosted here on Slytherin Group. I see some familiar faces in the chat. Unfortunately, I didn't resize my source, so I'm gonna do that right now. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but I'm gonna do it. I feel like I'm channeling my inner Agrippa right now, in doing things live, or I could just do this, and it will work. Hello, fellas. I will do my best to keep up with the chat and answer questions. If this is the first time you see Empires Apart, you're in for a treat. I will try to keep a generic tone as much as possible. Talk about this game. If you come from an RTS background or not, I will try my best to explain what's going on and what the game is about. So, without further ado, let's jump into the game, shall we? I'm going to pause the music. The music that you heard was from the game. The amazing soundtrack was composed by Michael Gordon Shapiro, and the main theme is by Sean Beason. A very lovely soundtrack, if you ask me. Right now, I'm gonna go and jump into a skirmish match and show you what this game is about. I'm gonna pick the Byzantines. The game is going to launch with 6 different civilizations: Byzantines, French, Aztecs, Mongols, Arabs, and Chinese. I will start with the Byzantines. We will have a very different selection of maps, from desertic maps to forests to snow. I'm gonna go with the good old Scorching Desert, which is a beloved map by our competitive fan base. And I'm gonna hit start. Here we go. So, as you may notice, I start with a town center, a few villagers, a few sheep, and a scout. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transform this into an empire and hopefully conquer my enemies. Empires Apart is an old school real-time strategy game inspired by games such as Empire Earth, Age of Empires, Rise of Nations, and so on. All the good old stuff. Those sort of games that they just simply don't make anymore. And we really wanted to see them come back because we wanted to play these kind of games, actually. And there was nothing on the horizon, so that's how development on Empires Apart started. As you might notice, I have my villagers working on wood and collecting food for the sheep. There are 4 resources in the game: food, wood, gold, and stone. Different resources are used for different things. So food is mainly used to produce units and villagers. Wood is mainly used to build buildings, stone as well, and gold is used to produce units as well. My scout is exploring. I find all sorts of resources scattered in the map. I'm finding a few sheep. I'm finding a deer, or a pack of deers. There's a relic over here. Some gold, a boar, and a lot more. Somewhere in the fog of war lies my enemy. I have no idea what my enemy is. I picked a random civ for my enemy. I will try my best to not die for now and to show you the ropes of the game. I'm gonna take one of my villagers and start building a house, first of all, because I don't want to get housed. There is a population amount over here. You need houses to support villagers. By the way, what you're seeing right now is the current patch that is live in the beta. Is version 0.8.3. Small announcement. We just sent out a new batch of keys for the beta, and right above me, somewhere over there, yeah, there's a link to sign up for the beta. If you haven't signed up for the beta yet, please do. We will keep adding people all the way through the next month and all the way to release. What makes Empires Apart unique, aside, you know, compared to other games, is how it's developed. Empires Apart is developed with an open development mentality, which means that we try to keep as much open communications, and we're trying to be as open as honest as we can with what we're doing. Which means that people that join into the beta saw a game that was still in development, and it still is. There were some recent changes made to the UI. If you go on YouTube and you start watching videos of Empires Apart that are being made, you might see that the UI was different. Some recent changes were made to the UI just to respond to the feedback that we got from the beta players. So, listening to the feedback is incredibly important for us, because ultimately we want to make the game that you guys want to play. So, I have to keep up with my civilization. I have no idea what my fellow villagers are doing. So I'm gonna build a storage over here. So keep collecting resources. I'm trying to accumulate food and wood primarily right now. Let's go give a look what my opponent is doing. By the way, I have no idea who my opponent is. I can just open up the diplomacy window to see what he's doing. Oh, he is Chinese, which means it's gonna be trouble. Chinese are one of my favorite civilizations. Always people ask me, what is your favorite civilization? I have no idea. They're all my babies. So each one of the civilization is unique. We try to develop them so that each one of them had something unique and played in a unique way. So Byzantines have a unique mix of cavalry units and infantry, while Chinese, for example, are very, very good with ranged weapons, and that means that I have to look out for their crossbowmen. So their scout is over here. He's looking at me. It's menacing. I'm going to, as soon as I can, build a barracks and start pumping out some scutatoi. I have researched my first economic development. So the way this works, usually many people, especially if you come from Age of Empires 2, ask, how do you advance? How do you get more buildings, more units and stuff like that? We have what we called a civilization development level system. Basically, you can increase your level, your economic development level, and your military development level. So military development will allow you to essentially get better units or get a better tech, military tech, while economic development will allow you to get better economic technologies, get access to priests, for example, get access to more town centers, and all of that. As you might have noticed, the night has fallen. There is a day-night cycle in the game, and as you can see, my scout has limited visibility during the night, which means that during the night you can ride more easily, or you can just look around without fear of being spotted. There are also certain units that react to the day-night cycle in unique ways. For example, the Aztecs have a spy that is invisible during the night, or that gets invisibility during the night. I'm going to start development on my basic military development, and I'm gonna put down a barracks and start thinking about attacking my opponent. There are a lot of improvements and a lot of mechanics that are unique to this game compared to other strategy games, especially classic ones. Essentially, what we did was, like, we looked at classic strategy games and why people like them, and especially why we like them and why we love to play them. And we looked at all the things that were essentially frustrating to us, because it's cool to play a 15-year-old game, but at the same time, it's a 15-year-old game. So you're going to have issues with networking. The UI is going to be clunky and all of that. So we tried to clean up the UI. We tried to make it as accessible as possible, as clean as possible. Oh yeah, also Bandover Please is pointing out that the maps are randomly generated. What I'm playing on right now is a procedurally generated map. If I restart this game, this is going to be completely different. This is to make the game more varied, more how can I say, every time you play this game, is gonna be a new experience. Even though you know it's the same map, but it's not. So you have to scout what your opponent is doing. You have to be ready. You have to be on your toes at all times. I have reached my my basic military development, so I'm gonna start putting out some cavalry. Like I said, I'm playing Byzantines. Byzantines are unique in the way they use their infantry and the way they use their cavalry and the way they mix them. I'm gonna click on this unit. This is a Scutatoi. By the way, I can also zoom in. It's night, so it's kind of dark. But over here, you can see that this unit has a passive ability that is called Disrupt, which basically says causes unit hit to be disrupted. And Byzantine cavalry deals twice the damage against disrupted units. So we take hints from history and we try to make each civilization not only unique but also flavorful. So what my basic tactic with the Byzantine is going to be is essentially I'm going to take my Scutatoi and attack with them first, and then come to the side with my cavalry, with my Expilatores, and take advantage of the disrupt mechanic. The Expilatores have a shock passive ability that says twice the damage against disrupted units on the first hit. So you can see how I can easily get a strategy of infantry and cavalry going with the Byzantines. I'm gonna play a little bit with this setup. Meanwhile, my villagers are idle. There's a button over here to see where my idle villagers are. I am playing on medium difficulty, which means that the AI is going to be somewhat nice on me. I'm going to accumulate some units and start attacking. So my plan of action for tonight's stream, by the way, is to show you some of the unique features of every civilization, tell you about the different modes that the game has, and then I'm going to move on to a multiplayer match that I'm going to play with my business partner, Simone Daminato, and hopefully will go smoothly. Okay, I have some cavalry over here. By the way, if you see me operating menus and whatnot, but not pressing buttons, it's because I'm using hotkeys. We have a huge amount of options that you can have access to. One of our philosophy is when it came to options was like, will Total Biscuit complain about it? And if you know who Total Biscuit is and you know how he likes his menus, then you can understand the philosophy that went into this. So we have a lot of options when it comes to the game. You know, do you want your health bar showing or not? Do you want to scroll, how fast you want it to scroll, and stuff like that. A lot of options when it comes to graphics, but what I wanted to get into is the hotkeys. There's a profile system for hotkeys. You can customize hotkeys for every civilization. The hotkey system is very, very easy for new players. It's based on the grid system. So it basically based on where the button is on the grid. So for example, if I hit Q, the first building is going to be on Q as well. Just to give an idea of all the units and technologies that are in the game, I'm going to open my tech tree. This is the tech trees for Byzantines. And as you can see, there's a lot of squares. So there's a lot of technologies, units that I can get access to and play. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to put down an archery range because I want to get some archers going as well. I'm going to save my cavalry on my control group number 1 and take my infantry and save it to control group number 2. And this way, I can easily switch between the two. I have no idea what my opponent is up to. I should probably be scouting right now. It's kind of hard to talk and play at the same time, but I'm going to do my best, and hopefully I won't lose. Shout outs to Agrippa. Gonna put down some archers. In the meantime, the soundtrack that you're hearing by Michael Gordon Shapiro is just amazing. Every civilization has its own unique theme, or sort of like every culture has its own unique theme, which makes it really, really unique and flavorful, especially in the first minutes of the game. Alright, where are my archers? I'm gonna build another house just to not get housed. You can collect berries for food. You can obviously hunt animals for food. I'm a little bit out of wood right now, so I think I'm gonna retask this villager to go to wood. I'm gonna leave this farm alone, but I'm gonna get back to it later. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna make a villager and point it over there. So, alright, let's go. I have one archer. I don't know if it's enough, but just to get some action going, I'm gonna move. So there's some options when it comes to controlling your unit that you have access to. You can set your units to be offensive, defensive, to stand ground, which means that they will attack only if an enemy unit comes nearby. You can change their formations for various reasons. For example, let's say you want to... Uh-oh, there's a town center there. Uh-oh. The AI has placed a town center to defend this gold, which means that it's pretty difficult for me to access its base coming from this side because the town center shoots and can also, and you can also garrison units inside of it, which means that the more units you have inside of the town center, the harder is going to be for me to, the more arrows it will shoot, so the harder for me is going to be to approach. So I'm going to go on this side. Uh-oh, these villagers are all alone. So I'm going to start attacking. I'm going to start whacking away at them. The AI is responding with some crossbowmen. I'm going to try to back away for now. I think I will bait them into possibly chasing me a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to engage. I'm going to engage with the infantry first. And then going with the cavalry. This way, hopefully, I will be able to exploit as much as possible my disrupt mechanic. So as you can see, there are little shields that pop up on over their heads, which means that they're getting disrupted and that the disrupt is getting broken. I'm getting quite a bit of damage. I'm getting damaged quite a bit, so I think I'm gonna back off. But I think this is a good introduction of what the game is and what the basic mechanics of the game are, and whatnot. I really want to show you some other maps and some other modes, so I think I'm gonna do just that. I'm going to resign and quit, which brings us to the defeat screen, which is sad, but over here you can see how good you did, how many resources you collected, how many units you killed, how many units you lost, and this also serves as a way for you to be like, okay, I think I need to improve, for example, my economy. For example, over here I can see that I didn't collect a lot of gold while the AI did, so I should probably focus on that a little bit more in the next game. So I'm gonna hop back right into the skirmish screen for a second, because I want to show you a little bit of what you have access to over here. You can play with up to 7 other AI opponents, and online as well you can play with up to 8 players. You can arrange the teams in any way you like. There's 5 levels of difficulty from easiest to hardest. You can feel free to proceed as you see fit when you play the game. You can start in normal and be like, okay, I feel like kind of confident, and go up to hard, or you're like, no, normal is too hard, so you can go down. Over here, you can select all the various civilizations. Right now, we have 5 civilizations in the game. The Arabs are coming soon into the beta. So once again, if you haven't signed up for the beta yet, make sure to sign up, because we'll be able to play all of these. Everything that you see is in the beta as well, so you can get access to it, hopefully, or you already have access to it. We have thousands of players in the beta, actually. And it's been great to gather all the feedbacks from them. So over here you can select all of the civilization. There's a tooltip that tells you what each civilization does and how each civilization behaves. We sort of have like 3 main sort of like categories of civilization. We have aggression civilizations, which are very much focused on early aggression, very much focused on getting your base very early on, but they tend to fall in the late game, so they might not have necessarily good siege weapons or have siege weapons at all, for example, but might have very good infantry that can that can get into space very quickly. Then we have expansion civilizations, and these are the civilizations that we basically, expansion for us means a civilization that is sort of like kind of slow at the beginning, but the more times passes, the more it grows and the stronger it gets. So, for example, the French are a perfect example where they have very good late game cavalry. They have Templars, and essentially they can the longer the game goes, the stronger they get. Same thing for the Byzantines that I just played. I showed you probably 10% of their units or 10% of what they can do, and there's a lot more that comes later on in the game. And finally, we have what we call protection civilizations. And protection civilization are the, I don't want to say the most interesting, but certainly the ones that play a little bit differently from the others. They are the one that really shine in team games, and they are the one that have the most unique mechanics. So, for example, Chinese have priests that can heal other units, friendly units nearby. Arabs will have access to medics and hospitals. They really shine in team games. When it comes, after you select a civilization, the other thing that you can do is select a hero. So, for example, for Aztecs over here, I have a selection of 2 heroes. I have Ahuizotl and Akamapixtli. I'm trying, hopefully I didn't butcher that name. And each hero has its own unique play style. Each hero has an active ability and a passive ability. And we really want heroes to be sort of like the cherry on the top of your strategy. So, for example, let's say you play Aztecs in a very aggressive way. You want to go with Ahuizotl, which is a very strong hero that empowers other warriors nearby. While Akamapixtli is sort of like an economic hero that will help you build your city faster. These are obviously historical figures. The French are going to have Joan of Arc, which you see in the background over there. The Mongols have Genghis Khan, and so on. When it comes to game modes, what I just played is Conquest, and Conquest is basically destroy your opponent's TC. Destroy your opponent's town center. I'm used to abbreviations. Regicide, essentially every player starts with a hero, and your objective is to kill the hero of your opponent, and if you do so, they are eliminated from the game. Diplomacy is Conquest, but you can send alliance requests to your to other players. You can betray them and declare war. You can be neutral, and you can trade with neutral friends. With neutral players, or you can trade with your friends, and together you can attack, but you can also betray each other. It's a mess, and it's a lovely mess, and it's awesome. And then we have Regicide with Diplomacy, which, as you might imagine, is Regicide combined with Diplomacy. So you kill each other's heroes while stabbing each other's in the back. Essentially, Game of Thrones, the game mode. So, when it comes to maps, right now I play Scorching Desert. I really quickly want to show you another map, and then I'm going to show you Survival, which is another mode that we have in the game. So I'm going to play, I think I'm going to play Mongols, so I can show you a very unique civilization that is in the game. And I think I'm going to play Mongols against, let's do French, shall we? All right. For the map, I'm gonna pick Great Meadows, and here we go. Do Aztecs have cavalry? Asks Dark Lord Dish. No, they don't. We try to keep our civilizations as historically. They're not. We try to keep them as historically flavorful as possible. The game doesn't really strive for historical accuracy, but the way we approach history is sort of like as a tale told around a campfire. You know, when it comes to history, there's a lot of, this is my perspective of how I experience these things, and historians try to piece these all together into sort of like a timeline of facts. But there's some really cool things that happened in history that are sort of like larger than life, and that is the that is the essence that we want to capture of history is part actual facts and part legend. So what I'm playing right now is Mongols. As you can see, I start with a town center as I did before. But Mongols are a very particular civilization. If I click on a villager, I have no buttons to build any building. So how do Mongols construct their buildings? Well, the Mongols in Empires Apart are inspired by how Mongols actually were, a nomadic civilization and the Golden Horde. So you don't actually build buildings as Mongols, but you have access to this unit right here, which is Settler. And what a Settler can do is it can transform into any sort of building. So for example, let's say I need a storage over here near the wood. I can select my Settler and select the storage, place it over here. My Settler will go there, will garrison inside the construction yard, and a storage will appear. So that is pretty cool. But what happens if, say, I don't want wood anymore for some reason? Let's say I'm good with wood, but man, I really, really need these berries right here. These berries look yummy and I need food. So what can I do? So, inspired by Mongols, you can take any building, any Mongol building, and dismantle it. So the building will be destroyed, and you get your settler back. And you can move your settler somewhere else, let's say near berries, and place your storage there. And now I have another storage over here. And the cool thing about this is that you can do this thing for all sorts of buildings. And different buildings have different costs when it comes to how many settlers they require. So for example, a town center requires 4 settlers, while a storage just requires 1. Your temple requires 3 town centers. I'm sorry, 3 settlers, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna explore a little bit of this map to show you what kind of map this is. This is an open map. Open means that there's a lot of empty space, quote unquote, that you can traverse and you can fill with buildings, but also where a lot of the fights will happen. There's not a lot of escapes in here. There's not a lot of choke points. It's just all about the open map. Over here we have a relic. So I think this is a good time as any to explain what relics do. Over here at the top of my UI, I have a indicator that tells me how many relics do I have. So, uh-oh, we're fighting. Get away from me. I think I can win this. By the way, I don't know, I don't know if you can notice, but the Mongol horse is actually smaller than the French horse. And this comes from actually how Mongols horses are. The Mongol breed, the Mongolian breed is basically shorter and slightly sturdier. So these are like little details that are in the game that that I think make the game a lot more awesome. So over here I can so I was explaining relics before the rude French cavalryman interrupted me. So relics, essentially you can collect them with priests, but the more relics you have, the better the effect is going to be. So if you have 1 relic in your temple, you can take the relic and bring it to the temple with a priest. You get +1 damage to all units. You have 2 relics, you get +1 range to all ranged units. With 3 relics, you get +1/+1 armor to all units. With 4 relics, +1 gold per second. And with 5 relics, you get +3 damage to all units. So this means that relics are really strategic in certain maps and are really strategic for certain civilizations. I'm gonna answer this question real quick. Ultra Doom Slaya says, is networking deterministic lockstep, or is it a custom solution? The game is deterministic. We do send commands over the net. I encourage you to tune into our stream, our development stream, to ask all these kinds of questions to myself and Dami, which is in chat. We are very open to discuss anything. Like I said, open development. So any question you might have, I will try to answer as honestly as I can. one thing that I can show you is I really want some wood so I can make a priest. Because another thing that I want to show you is, by the way, what is all of the Mongol units have a passive ability that is called Bloodlust. Essentially, for every unit that they kill, they get a bonus damage and a bonus attack speed. But this bonus vanishes within 60 seconds. If they don't kill anything within 60 seconds, this bonus goes away. But they can stack this bonus up to 3 times, which means that the more kills that the Mongols get, the stronger they get. So, again, try to keep it flavorful, try to keep it unique, try to keep each civilization unique. I have a settler over here. Oh no. Oh no. I think this guy just came in to check what was up. So I think we will just gonna leave him alone. Or just punch him to death. Let's just punch him to death. Mongols, all of the units from the Mongols are on horseback. So the only on-foot unit that they have really is the villager. So their villagers are quite strong because of that. So let's see. Alright. I'm gonna research basic economic development. And as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna build a temple and try to get this relic. But also, the reason why I want to build this temple is because I want to show you, again, how every civilization is unique. All of the units, all of the buildings of a civilization are unique, which means that this light cavalry is different from the French light cavalry. My priest is different from the French priest. The French have, I think it's called Evesque. I cannot pronounce the Mongol priest. Where is it? Oh, it's a Nidugan. Okay. All of the units' name are in the proper language. There are obviously indications for what they are. So, for example, this is a Nokur, but it's also a light cavalry. And tooltips in general explain to you everything that you need to know about the game. So over here, I have another indicator that is the indicator of number of town centers that I built. The town center is a fairly important building because it's a building that allows you to build not only villagers but also settlers, for example, for myself. But it's also the building that your opponent needs to destroy in conquest mode. So you need to save your town center, you need to protect them. The higher your economic development level is, the more town centers you can have, up to 4. So at the beginning of the game, you can have 1 town center. With basic economic development, you can get up to 1 town center, and with advanced economic development, you can get up to 2. Oh, he wants revenge. I'm gonna attack him, but then I'm gonna get my Nokur get the kill, so he can get the Bloodlust stock. There we go. He has a Bloodlust stock on top of his head, so which means that now has 5 damage. Which makes him pretty deadly. So, in order to build a temple, I need 3 settlers, as you can see from the UI. I put in 1. Here's the second one. And where can I get a 3rd one? I could build it, but I could also simply dismantle this building and just send this guy in. And now I do have a temple. There we go. So, I'm gonna make a priest. Like I said, every priest is unique in the game. And again, trying to keep it flavorful. The Mongol priest is a shaman. Is on horseback, like any other Mongol unit. There it is. And what the passive ability of the shaman is divination. Which basically allows her, because it's a female shaman, to... Oh no, I'm gonna lose my... Oh, okay. He got divinated, I think. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh no, he did. What divination does... I think he divinated one of the villagers. What divination does is essentially gives a unit 2 chances of dodging an attack. And this is unique to the Mongol priest, and this is an ability that she accumulates and can use up to 3 times, and needs to be recharged. I'm gonna get this relic. This is the fastest priest that's in the game, because obviously he's on horseback. And now that I have my relic, I'm gonna bring it to the temple and store it. and this is going to increase the attack of all of my units. Right now, I don't have any military units, but let's say this is an emergency and I really need military units. What I could do is I could dismantle the town center and use 3 of my settlers to build a Nokutgir, which is a building that produces military units. And I'm gonna use this other settler to put down a storage so that my villager have a place to drop off their resources. There we go. So now I can produce my light cavalry or cavalry archers and all of that. So this is a very mobile civilization. You don't like where you are, you can pack up and just move away. So I really wanted to show you the Mongols in contrast to the Byzantines, because this gives you an idea of how every civilization is different. And I'm gonna show you a third civilization, and to do so, I'm going to jump into a survival game. One of the modes that we have in this game is survival. And what survival essentially is, it puts you on a map that has scarce resources. I'm gonna pick the Chinese to show you a little bit of something different. It puts you in a map that has very scarce resources, and during the day you are free to collect resources, and during the night you will get attacked by increasingly stronger waves of enemies. So this map is on a winter setting, as you can see. I'm gonna use my villagers to collect some resources, and I'm going to explore. And as you can see, there's very little around me. I'm gonna try my best to explore as much as I can. I found some gold there. That is nice. As you can see, it snows. Weather has no impact on gameplay. This is something that a lot of players requested. Again, we've been getting suggestions on this game for about 3 years. We announced this game a little over, I think a little over 3 years ago, or a little less than 3 years ago. And ever since, we've been getting all sorts of suggestion, all sorts of help from the players that want this game to be successful. And one of the suggestions, for example, was why not make weather influence the gameplay? And the reason we didn't was that we were afraid that with procedural generated maps, this is a procedural generated map as it was the one before, so the fact that there is gold here is not always the case. For example, I found some stone here. There's some berries over here. This is important because there's not a lot of food on this map. So these guys are done with their sheep. I'm gonna keep gathering sheeps. So the fact that all of the maps are procedurally generated, we were afraid that weather was too much of a random factor. I have reached the end of the map. This is where the enemies will spawn, probably. Enemies spawn in random locations. But this gives you an idea of the map. The night is falling. As you can see in survival, the night falls faster. I'm gonna try to keep my villagers closer to the to my TC, to my town center, because enemy units are gonna pop up anytime now, and I don't want them to die. What your victory condition in survival is essentially survive as long as you can, and your defeat condition is that you only have one TC. You can only have one town center, and if you lose that town center, you lose the game. We're gonna have leaderboards, and essentially you will race with your friends. Oh no! There's an Aztec warrior. Luckily he's very weak, so he was taken. He was killed by my TC. I think another one will pop up soon, but this is just the first night. If we go into the third, fourth, or fifth night, then we're gonna get confronted with stronger units, and we're probably gonna see some heroes as well as cavalry units and whatnot. So I sent my villagers to collect some wood. I can research my basic military development. As you can see, the developments are researched on the UI directly. They're not researched in the TC. This is to keep the game fast and keep the game and don't disrupt the pace of the game. The game is geared towards competitive players, or at least towards competitive play. That's the kind of game that we wanted to make. These guys are really trying to take down my TC, but they have no chance right now. Those are Aztecs Warriors, by the way. The game is really geared towards competitive play, but as you can see, is very accessible. Anybody can just hop into a skirmish mode, or hop into a survival match, and just play. The game actually has single player. That was one of the questions that many people had, because this game is very much multiplayer oriented. But does the game come with single player? And the answer is yes. It has skirmish mode and has survival mode, and you can also play with your friends online co-op against the AI. So that should allow you to experience the game at the pace that you want with your friends and have fun. So I'm gonna collect wood from these 2 trees. As you can see, I ran out of trees, so this map really pushes you towards the outside of the map. So you really need to risk your back, essentially, in order to collect resources. I think I am going to place a storage over here. And collect some wood. The reason why I'm doing so is because I want to show you the Chinese priest and one of the unique mechanics that the Chinese have. Striker Eureka asks, does the game have a 1v1 ranked ladder? And the answer is yes. It does. The game is focused towards competitive gameplay, so it does have a multiplayer. It does have both normal lobbies that you can play with your friends, up to 8 players, but it also has ranked duels, so you can race to be the best in the world at Empires Apart. And if you do, I'll send you a pizza or something. You can quote me on that. But you gotta have, I don't know, Pizza Hut in your region or something. We gotta make it happen somehow. Now that I said it, I can't back out. I can't back off. All right, so I'm going to build a temple. Just to show you again another different kind of priest. The Chinese priest is a Shaolin monk. Does it know Kung Fu? Yes, it does. Oh, Milo, I really appreciate your comment. We really wanted to create a... Well, again, nothing against the game that you mentioned, but we really wanted to create a proper RTS. A old school RTS. RTSs nowadays kind of seem to go into a different direction. Oh no, these guys know where I am, and what I'm up to. So I think I'm gonna put my priest against them. And I just love that he knows Kung Fu. One of the things that my priest can do, other than healing, is also that he has a certain amount of chance of dodging incoming attacks. Okay, so these guys, I'm gonna garrison these guys inside this building because I think this is getting risky. I'm also gonna garrison my cavalry unit so they don't get killed. I'm gonna show you one of the unique mechanics that the Chinese have. Again, every civilization is different. So there's an active ability that it can trigger inside of every storage and every town center that the Chinese have that is called Overseer. And what Overseer does is, while this ability is active, villager will deposit 20% more resources, but they're dealt 5 points of damage in return. So, as you can see, my villagers are getting hurt, but I'm getting more wood out of it. So you can sort of overwork your Chinese villagers to get more resources or get at least a temporary boost in exchange for, their well-being. But how can you compensate for that? Well, the Shaolin Yishang has... oh lord, this is gonna be difficult. I have to defend with villagers. Gonna take my priest. Okay, this was... Oh no, there are more coming. I'm afraid. I'm scared. Villagers will run away automatically when they are attacked. I think I'm gonna bring out my light cavalry. I'm really not playing to win over here. My monk was just like, I don't care. I'm a monk. I'm too strong for this. Okay, I think it now. Oh no, no, I'm scared. I'll just let the TC take care of it. Okay, we survived the night. This was good. Survived the night. Okay, so all of my villagers are very, very much damaged. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my monk next to them, and my monk has a passive ability called Meditation, which says heal nearby units by 8 health points every 2 seconds after standing still for 5 seconds. So my monk is gonna sit down, is gonna start meditating, and as you can see, my villagers are getting healed. So you can put your monks next to storages and trigger their ability to collect resources faster, but your monks need to stay still. So you have sort of like this risk-reward mechanic of, do I use my villagers, do I use my monks in combat because they're actually pretty strong, or do I keep them essentially protecting my economy from raids and whatnot. So this is survival. I survived 2 nights, but I don't think I will survive another one because they're gonna keep seeking my blood, and I'm really not ready for any sort of attack. But this is a unique Chinese feature that I wanted to show you, and I wanted to show you survival. This is a mode that you can really try to survive for as long as you can, try to get better, try to find new strategies to survive as long as you can. For example, you can try to wall, you can try to put down gates, towers, you can try to defend in all sorts of ways, and all of that. I think that right now is a good time to jump into a multiplayer match, perhaps, and involve a friend and a colleague in Zami, which is in chat right now, so I think I'm going to have to pull him away from the chat in order to possibly play a multiplayer match. And I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the multiplayer features that the game is going to have. The game, like I said, is going to have ranked duels with automatic matchmaking, and it's going to have leagues, and it's going to have, you know, a ladder, and you will be able to compete and try to become the best in the world at Empires Apart. Right now, I am Gold Division 2, probably undeserved, but hey, I'm the dev, so I can put myself anywhere I want. And that's why I put myself in gold and not in platinum, because, I don't know. And also you have access to normal games, and you can create any sort of game you want. Right now I'm going to open up a lobby. I'm going to call it, what should we call it? What should we call it? Let's call it Agrippa's Legacy. The game mode is going to be Conquest. For the map, I'm going to show you a new map. I think I'm going to go with Winterwald. I'm gonna open a 1v1 lobby, but I could also open an open lobby, which allows me to add any AI opponent that I want, or any sort of like team configuration that I want. I don't want any spectators, but we do have a very cool spectator mode in the game that allows you to watch your friend play normal games. And the spectator mode is actually really, really cool. And we really built it with streamers in mind. So if you want to cast, let's say, some of your friends' games, or you want to cast a tournament, that is really, really useful. Do you have a scenario builder tool in mind? We do want to open up this game to modders as soon as possible. Everything that we created in the game was created with modders in mind. So the idea is that in the future, we will essentially give you the same tools that we used to create this game for you to create new civilizations, new heroes, new characters, anything you really want, actually. Okay, I'm gonna open up my lobby. And we're going to wait for Zami to join. Over here, I can change the options of the map. Okay, I could change the map size. I can change the population cap, visibility. I'm gonna say hi to Zami in chat, and I'm gonna hit ready. And as soon as he's ready, we can jump into the game. And you will see that the experience in multiplayer is just slightly different than the experience in single player, but it's essentially similar. You can see we have a very nice civilization select screen, which tells you what the rules of the game are. And if you were in a team with multiple people, you could strategize and be like, okay, I'm going to play this civilization, why don't you play that civilization? And we can combine our forces. Nakamura RTS asks, what's the standard pop limit? The standard pop limit is 200. You can go down to 100, you can go up to 300, but 200 is what the game was built around. I am going to pick... I think I will pick Byzantines again, just to redeem myself. I'm gonna pick Flavius Belisarius as my hero, and maybe I will be able to show you his cool active ability, which is, again, if you like history and if you know who Flavius Belisarius is, you will know why he has this ability. All right, this is a normal match, Conquest on Winterwald. I'm gonna try to play semi-seriously. Hopefully I don't get wrecked. Winterwald. Zami says, good luck, have fun. Thank you, Zami. Winterwald is a different map than the ones to just play. I'm just gonna tell him just play. I'm gonna be arrogant like that. He's gonna wreck me. Winterwald is a different map from any other that I showed you since the start of the stream, because this is very much a closed map, which means that there's a lot of trees, a lot of rocks blocking the way, but there are choke points where the action is going to be concentrated and that connect the two players together. So I think I'm going to try to play this one semi-seriously, in case some RTS players are watching. I don't want to be embarrassed. There's a relic over here. This is pretty sweet. Again, procedural map. So with this villager, I'm gonna build a house. Oh, there's a boar over here. I think I'm gonna attack the boar. I'm gonna start running. The boar is angry that I attacked him, so he's gonna chase me. I'm gonna bring him close to the town center, and as soon as I'm very, very close, I'm gonna take my villagers and tell them to attack the boar. And the boar is down, and that is a very, very nice 350 food that I'm gonna get put in the bank, which makes me pretty happy. Okay, I'm not really playing well. I think I should build a wood storage. There's only one storage building in the game. You can use it for anything you want. You can also use it for strategic placements. For example, I should probably delete this building and place a storage over here so that I can use it to collect both gold and wood. I'm gonna keep my villager production going as much as possible. And let's go take a look what Zami's doing. I'm gonna open the diplomacy menu. He's playing Chinese, his favorite civilization. I'm playing Byzantines. Historically, my favorite civilization, probably. I don't know about in the game, but I really wanted them in the game. This is my bias showing. Can we see Zami's point of view? No, we cannot. You only have my scouting ability. But if we had a spectator, you would be able to see both point of views as well as each individual player point of view. The UI tells me that there's a civilization upgrade available. I'm going to upgrade right away to basic military development because I really want to get some harassment going as soon as possible. I have 5 villagers in wood. I'm going to get this guy on gold and keep going. Zami hasn't taken his boar. He never does. Some wood cutting going over here. Some gold collecting. We pretty much did the same thing with the storage placement over here. I've reached my population limit, damn it. Which means that I'm housed. So I have to put down a house in order to continue producing villagers and units. In the meantime, I've reached the basic economic development, the basic military development. So I am going to build a, let's build a barracks. I don't know if I will attack Zami right away. Probably I'm gonna give him some breathing time. This is a good map, by the way, to wall off your opponent. Oh, Zami has stolen a sheep. I don't like that, Zami. You can take control of the sheep by just being nearby them. But if nobody is nearby, they will just essentially, if none of your units are nearby and one of your opponent's units stops by, he just steals it. So Okay. Let's get another house going. This guy's building. My villager production is not very good. There should be another boar. There he is. Gonna take the second boar now. Again, the voice acting is in Greek. Every civilization has unique voice acting of its own language, including old languages like Nahuatl and Old French. I have a lot of guys of wood. I think I should probably get some gold, as well as some stone. I think I need some stone production as well, because later on I want to put down a fortress, and that is going to be crucial to my strategy. Okay, I'm gonna put down a few warriors if I can. I really need food. I should probably also get these berries over here. So what I'm doing, what you see me doing, is moving the rally point, which means that all of the units that come out of the TC will come out down this line essentially and gather up over this flag right here. So here we have a Skutatoi, and Milo. Milo might appreciate the fact that also the unit names are in Greek as well. So I cannot wait to get my hands on some Cataphractoi. I will keep my villager production going. I am housed. I should probably put down another house. Whoops. Put down another house over here. I should probably scout what Zami is up to, because I don't trust him. I don't trust him for a second. I think he's gonna pop up with... probably he's gonna pop up with crossbowmen, which means that I should probably respond to that in some form. I'm gonna put down... I think I'm gonna put down a stable, because cavalry does pretty well against ranged units. I've reached my basic economic development. I don't have a lot of wood, but I really need wood. So, because I want to build a second town center, and possibly I should also wall off some of my base. I think I'm going to do just that. I'm looking around to see where he might come from, and I have a feeling that he might come from here. So I'm going to take one of my villagers and build a stone wall over here. So he won't be able to come through here unless his units are like over here or over here. I can also ping. If this was a team game, I could ping stuff to my allies, like for example, danger, help me over here. There's a resource over here, or I'm moving in. So this should help in team games to keep communication going. Okay, I have some Skutatoi going. Okay, I have a lot of wood now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put down a second town center over here, because as the tooltip tells me, I can have one additional town center in this phase. Okay, so I'm gonna put down a outpost, I think, over here, because I want to know if he's coming in. I want to know it. So I'm gonna put down an outpost, and I really need houses. But as soon as this is complete, I will get 10 more population available. All right, I now have a outpost which gives me a lot of view over this area. And I think I will build a blacksmith as well to research some upgrades. All right, I have a second TC now, which means that I can produce a lot of villagers. I will put these villagers from this town center to the wood over here, and villagers from this town center I will put to the wood over here. My goal is to get to advanced military development and get Flavius Belisarius, because he's my favorite hero. Probably, I don't know. But he's a cool guy. I think we can agree on that. So blacksmith is coming. Over here, they're collecting berries, and as you can see, resources deplete as they collect them, which serves both as a visual indicator and as some visual coolness to the game. I really don't feel safe over here, so I think I'm going to wall. I won't wall out the stone because I might need it, so I think I'm going to wall like this. So this is my blacksmith. I'm going to research some armor for my warriors. I've reached my population limit, which means that I need to put down some houses, and food is also not very high, so I should probably put down a few fields. On the right over here, underneath the minimap, you might see some notification for what is going on. Like Zami is attacking me. Oh lord. Oh lord. We have warriors. We can deal with this. We can deal with this. Zami's retreating. He doesn't want none of it. But what I see over here is that he's putting down a minefield. And the minefield is gonna be not fun to go through. But he doesn't have an engineer nearby, so I think I will just take down this guy. And probably I can destroy his... Oh, this engineer is dead. Another cool thing that the Chinese have that Zami wasn't able to show you is that they have engineers that they can build some very interesting things like minefields, as well as transform into various siege weapons. So they can transform into a ram, for example, or into even a flamethrower, which is a very cool unit. Alright, I feel somewhat safe over here. I feel safe. Alright, we all walled in. And like we did before, I'm going to put down an outpost because I want to know what Zami's up to. Again, not trusting the guy. I'm going to upgrade my Skototoy to veteran Skototoys. This is going to make them stronger and prettier, which is, you know, doesn't hurt. As soon as I reach advanced military development, I'm going to put down a fortress and... my favorite unit in the game, Flavius Belisarius. I want to put down a couple of stables because eventually I want to make cataphracts or cataphractoi, and I'm about to be housed, so let's not make the same mistake again. And let's put a house over here that sort of like outlooks over this portion of map right here. All right, let's take a look at my veteran Skototoy. Now prettier, stronger, faster. As you can see, they have a passive ability, like I described at the beginning of the video. But they also have an attribute. We have a attribute system. Every unit in the game can have certain attributes, and attributes can interact with each other. So, for example, the classic example is that the cavalry unit has an attribute that is called Mounted, and says vulnerable to long weapons. So a unit that has a long weapon, like a spearman, will have bonus damage against mounted units. Alright, I am ready to build a fortress. I'm gonna put down a fortress over here so that it sort of like protects my base. Constructing this fortress is gonna take a minute, so I think I'm gonna put multiple villagers on the task. I only have two fields. That is not good, so I'm gonna have to put down more, and these are gonna expire eventually. They have a limited amount of food, and then they need to be reseeded, but I'm gonna enable auto farm reseeding, which means that villagers will automatically reseed the farms as soon as they are expired. All right, our fortress is done. Our stables are done, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting down cataphracts, and I'm gonna put down Flavius Belisarius. You can only have one hero in the game. If you lose him, you cannot get it back. He's gone forever, so I need to be careful. feel somewhat confident. This stone is about to deplete. So do I have another one? Do I have another source of stone? I should have probably scouted better. I don't know what Zami's up to. I should probably go take a look, but I'm scared. So I'm gonna wait to be at least somewhat ready. I'm gonna put down a siege workshop because I want some rams. Because if we want to take down his city, I'm gonna assume that he is pretty well defended. So I'm gonna keep my economy going. This storage placement right here will probably make a few RTS players cringe. So I'm gonna put down another one just to keep things efficient and nice. I like the ground around the relics. The guy who suggested that must be a genius. I agree with that statement. And that is really the sentiment that drives the Empires Apart development. We try to get as many feedback as possible from players and try to integrate the best ones in the game. Because, again, ultimately, we're trying to make the game that you guys want to play as well as us. And we made this game as much for us as we made it for you. Because this is a game that we wanted to play, and hopefully this is also the game that you wanted to play. So, alright, there's a ram coming. Let's move some rams over here. I'm producing too many, probably. And I don't have enough cataphracts, I feel. Alright. Things are ramping up. I have 60 population over 75. I have no idea what Zami is doing. Oh, I have 14 idols. That is not good. So, you guys should probably collect some gold. You guys are done with that stone. I don't have any more stone. I think I walled it off. Oh, no, it's over here, right. But I think I'm good with stone. I will just get this gold, because it's gonna... I'm gonna need gold for the battle to purchase better units. I don't have a lot of food, and that is really what I'm missing right now. So, more fields. Again, this is a beta version, so anything you see might be subject to change, as well as, you know, there might be some issues here and there. There might be some icons missing, some tooltips missing, but we're improving the game day by day. This is really a true beta in a lot of ways, in the sense that it's not a beta made of like, oh yeah, it's a beta, but this is just for marketing purposes. No, this is an actual beta where we're like, okay, this is the game. Do you like it? What would you like to change? And we went from there, and a lot of the changes, for example, to the UI came from the feedback that we got from people in the beta, and we're really, really happy with that. Alright, this is Flavius Belisarius, by the way. Don't tell me he's not cool. Alright. How many cavalry I have? I have 8. I have 10. I don't feel confident at all. I really don't feel confident. I think Zami's gonna be huge. Let's take our scout and let's see if we can scout. Meanwhile, the night has fallen, so this is probably a good time to scout, because all of the units, all of the buildings have less line of sight, so this is probably a good time to sneak in. Oh, those are some warriors guarding that space right there. Oh, Zami has a bunch of idols. Zami looks not ready. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, we lost our scout, but I feel pretty confident about an assault. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take all of my units, including my hero, and I'm gonna start moving in. Is Charles Martel one of the French heroes by any chance? I want to repeat the Battle of Poitiers. No, he's not. But we would like to add more heroes, possibly in the future. We would like to keep supporting this game as much as we can. So he's not in the game right now, but there's a chance that he might come in the future. Zami's really not trying. So I guess he wants me just to... I guess he just wants me to destroy his base. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you Flavius Belisarius' active ability because it's just too cool. I just love it. So historically speaking, if you know about Flavius Belisarius, you know that he won a lot of these battles by deception. And you know, he wasn't favorite in a lot of the battles that he fought, but he won. And the way that he won was with deception. And his ability is actually called deception. And creates a group of Varangian decoys. They can disrupt enemy units but won't deal any damage and will disappear after 20 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast my active ability over here. So here are my Varangians. They appear as normal units to Zami. So right now I'm moving in. And so these guys are attacking them, but actually they are not real units. So I can come in and attack. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to take my Rams and attack his town center. See, they're all dead because they disappeared. And I think I'm going to take everything else. I feel like Zami's letting me win in a way. Alright. Oh. This guy's stuck. We call that the Rave Ram. I'd like to thank Zami for conceding this game. I really don't win many Empire Support games, so every time it happens, it's always a joy. So I'm going to use my Rams to destroy his TC and use my cavalry to just raid his lands. Oh, that TC is gone. And as you can see, there's a timer that popped up that says defeat in 2 minutes. So Zami now has 2 minutes to rebuild his TC or he will die. And this was done in order to avoid, you know, the villagers escaping to the corner of the map and not being able to win, or people that don't want to concede clearly lost games and stuff like that. With the fact that you can have only a limited amount of TCs, we feel like that was an appropriate mechanic. So that is it. I think I'm gonna win because Zami decided to concede this game. Thank you, Zami. Again, very gracious. Yeah, I need ELO points. Thank you. This is not a ranked game, so it doesn't count towards ELO. Yeah. And also, I'd just like to point out that we don't have ELO. We do have a ranking system, but it's not ELO based. But it's in there. So if you want to just grind and get your points, that's the way to do it. So my villagers are producing. I have 2 TCs. I have a fairly big economy. And I showed you my favorite hero, Belisarius. I think he is. I think he's done. I really like the building destruction. It's really pretty in the trailer. There's a trebuchet hitting a gate as the cavalry comes in, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of other buildings that I didn't show you. There's a lot of other units that I didn't show you. Like I said, this is the tech tree for the Byzantines. This is the tech tree for the French. This is the tech tree for the Aztecs. This is the tech tree for the Chinese. And this is the tech tree for the Mongols. Very slim, but like I showed you, very unique and they play in a very unique way. So Zami is going to be defeated in 3, 2, 1. And we achieved victory. Thank you, Zami. Thank you. I owe you a pizza. So, I think this concludes everything that I wanted to show you for the game. I'm getting the victory fanfare over here. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will spend the next few minutes answering them. Are those ram attack animations placeholder or are they final? Everything can be changed. Everything can be improved. Those ram attack animations are actually what they're going to be in the game. They're not... The game doesn't have necessarily a cartoony vibe to it in the sense that the rams are not like bouncing and, I don't know, deforming too much. It's just a regular log going back and forth. So, also, the units that you saw, they're not really flashy. They're not really... there's not a lot of deformation going on. We try to accentuate certain features of the character when it comes to proportions and stuff like that. but we try to keep a somewhat realistic approach. Um, don't forget to check the Steam page, yes, and don't forget to wishlist the game if you actually would like to get the game and get some multiplayer matches with your friends, and hopefully your friends are gonna be as kind as Zami is and let you win. What do points actually do other than leaderboard? Well, a lot of people really care about the leaderboard. Oh, I'm sorry, if you're talking about the one in the chat, I think it's just the leaderboard, but isn't it fun to just roulette your way, you roulette your night out? Can we see the spectator mode with an AI super quick? Yes, actually yes. Which civilization is hard to play? In my estimation, I think that the Mongols are probably the hardest one because they really have a unique approach, and you cannot, like, if you know how to play French, you sort of know how to play Byzantines. Aztecs are unique, but maybe not as unique. The Mongols are really a different beast. I'm gonna open an open lobby and add one spectator slot, and hopefully I will be able to show you a game with 2 AIs. I'm gonna just do 2 random AIs, gonna set the difficulty. Oh no, somebody joined! Somebody was waiting for it, wasn't it? I'm sorry, dude. Oh no, Zami joined! No, guys, I'm gonna kick you. I'm sorry, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You can ban players from lobbies. In case that pesky dude joins and you don't want him, you can do that. Alright, I'm gonna hit ready and just let's go. Thank you, Riaperiv. Sorry if I butchered your name. Looks promising for an old RTS fan here. Alright, this is the spectator mode. Over here we have the Aztecs, and over here we have the Byzantines. So I can look around the map as freely as I want. I can check the first-person view of every player. Sort of like, not first-person, but sort of like point of view of every player. And I can see what they're up to. I can select each one of their units and get stats on them. And one of the coolest things is that, well, if there's a battle later on, I will show you. But essentially, you can get stats on the current battle or the current like group unit formations and stuff like that. So if you want to cast games, I think this is a really cool mode because down here, it tells you the resources that the players are gathering. The amount of villagers that they the amount of villagers that they have, the amount of military units that they have, the amount of population, what they are producing. So right here we see that, for example, the Aztec player got his house down slightly sooner than the Byzantine player, and you can see what they are producing. Over here there's a spy from the Aztec player that is exploring, and let's see what the Byzantine player is up to. He's taking the boar. Aztec player is just exploring, probably gonna get these sheeps, stuff like that. I love casting, so I'm sold. Well, there you go. I'm happy to hear that. You also are a very good streamer, so I look forward to see that. Over here, you can see that they are chopping away. These guys are collecting food. What's going on over here? Same thing, more or less. The AI really likes this efficiency. Just puts down two storages. Let's go point of view from the Byzantine player. Good exploration from the AI. Good job, AI. Whoever programmed you is probably a very handsome man. Keeps exploring around the TC just to find all of the nearby resources. There's some deer here. There's another patch of gold over here. Again, procedural generation. So the map that I'm playing right now is different from the map that I showed you before. Are there advanced stats like the graph in StarCraft 2? I know that's greedy. Not right now, but what we hope to do is to expand this spectator mode even post-release, and we hope to have sort of like a widget mode, kind of, where you sort of like you can have your widget open with some sort of stats. You can close that. You say you want to see some other widget and stuff like that. What we would really like to do is work with casters and basically go to casters to be like, okay, what would you like? What is missing? Uh-oh, somebody's attacking. Okay, this is a good time to show you this. If I select, I can select both enemy units and the friendly units, or sort of like, these are all enemies, I guess. And it will tell me down here at the bottom the stats, what I have selected, the damage that I have available. Oh, he dead. And the health of the units that I have selected and whatnot. So yeah, this is spectator mode. Why is this game so feature complete? Well, if you ask me, there's always like, can we add that? Can we add that? And hopefully we'll be able to add everything. Oh, the spy is there. Scheming. Okay, I'm gonna quit. Alright, if you guys have any other questions, I will answer them. Otherwise, I think we will close down the stream pretty soon. Just take my money, says DJ Alfec. Well, thank you, DJ Alfec. We hope we will hear a very nice remix of one of our themes, maybe? Show what a map? Sure, I can show you Mare Nostrum. I think water looks very, very cool in this game. I'm gonna pick Mare Nostrum. I'm gonna pick Visible, so you will be able to see it right away. I'm gonna pick Mongols. Because I want to show you something. Thank you, Blackthorn. Game is in beta, has more feature than fully launched games. Well, thank you. And we hope to keep adding them as time goes by. Alright, over here I am on Mare Nostrum. As you can see, there's a big lake in the middle. There's land all around the map. The thing that I wanted to show you actually is this. I can even, let's say, no, well, let's just not be greedy. I'm gonna create a new settler and show you something cool. Alright, I do have a settler. So, if you open the Mongol menu, you will see that there's no port building, right? The Mongols don't have a port. But, what they could do is, they can transform their settler into an actual boat. So, settler goes into the water, put down a tent, we wait a little bit for some magic to happen, and that is going to become a boat very, very soon. So, the Mongols really don't have any water units, but they are the first ones to put down a water unit potentially. And this is a transport ship. You can fill it with cool Mongol units and just raid your opponent. I can do this. Let's see. Could do this. And do this. Where's my scout? I used to have a scout. Oh, over here. I'm blind. I'm gonna make a few scouts. I'm gonna take this boat. Get it close to the sea. Your settler also transforms to siege engines. Yes, Chen La is very informed about the game. And the Mongol settler also transforms into mangonels and rams. Which makes it really, really a unique unit. I'm gonna wait for a third one to come out. Can the settlers go into transport ships? Yes, they can. All right. I'm gonna take my light cavalry, bring it into the transport ship, and let's go land. And there's some fish over here. If I had any fishing ships, I could gather them. I could gather it. But Mongols actually don't have fishing ships. But they have all other cool ways of gathering food, which I'm gonna show in a second. Okay, I'm gonna put down my units and just start attacking the AI. And also another thing that I could do is just simply retransform this unit. I can't. Oh, damn it. There must be something broken there. Oh, this guy already has 3 stacks. But essentially, I could retransform this transport ship into a settler and keep going and keep going. Essentially, you don't lose your settler if you make it into a transport ship. This guy already has 3 stacks. I just want to show you a guy with 3 stacks, how strong he is. I don't know if you can feel the attack speed. Oh, he has 7 damage. Pretty strong. So yeah. Alright, folks. If there are no more questions, I think I'm going to call it a day. As I always say, on the Destiny Bit stream, a lot of the development of this game was actually streamed live on twitch.tv/DestinyBit, which is our Twitch channel. So if you want to go in there and tell me that the button should be slightly bigger, that's the place to do it. And to my left, you see links to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. Like I said, we've been developing this game for about 3 years now, with the help of the community. And we've been gathering feedback from all over the place. So if you saw something today and you were like, I wish that was different, please tell us. And please sign up for the beta, and tell your friends to sign up for the beta. Also your enemies to sign up for the beta. And you can all play together online, and you can tell us what you think. Alright, fellas. I'm gonna call it a day. I will replay the trailer once more and then close out the stream. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you to all of the regulars of the Destiny Bit stream who showed up, and thank you to all of the aficionados of the Slytherin stream. I hope you guys will keep following the development and wishlist the game on Steam. Thank you very much, folks. I will now play the trailer once more, and I will see you all next time. By the way, starting Saturday and Sunday, we will be at the PC Gamer Weekender in London. So if you happen to be in the London area and you would like to try the game for yourself, that is the place to be. So somebody's going to post a link to it, but I look forward to see some of you there. And goodbye and good night.